Good morning, everyone. Actually, I really could use that music this morning. The party was fantastic last night. I think we're a pretty difficult group, actually, for the hotel. For all of you that are in the hotel business, I'm sure you understand that when things go according to plan and everything works very well, you know, it's nice. But meetings like ours, which unfortunately yesterday afternoon ran overtime a little bit, really created some pressure for the general manager, Robert Hare, of the hotel here, and his staff. I'd just like to thank them this morning for doing a great job with the reception last night. For all of you that were there, you know, please give a round of applause, you know, for Robert and his team. So, welcome to day 2. IHIF, as we said yesterday, is the meeting of global collaboration. This event, as I mentioned in the opening remarks, is a collaborative effort itself. We have a long-standing relationship with our advisory board, over 60 people from around the world who participate in that advisory board, professionals from the industry who work with us to produce conference content, to generate the ideas for the speakers. How many of you were here actually yesterday afternoon for that last session with, what'd you think? Spot on? Right. So that was a direct product of the input from the advisory board, and really could not have been better. I think it was just a tremendous session. But in addition to the advisory board, we also have a very long-standing relationship with the EHL, with the École Hôtelière de Lausanne. It goes back, to the early days of IHIF. We work together with EHL, with the professors, with the students. In May or June, lovely time of the year, they host the advisory board, and we're there for a think tank session. So a tremendous opportunity for us, to get together and germinate on the program. But in addition to that, we have a student program, and you'll see EHL students helping us, throughout the conference. They're here. These are people who've been through. These are students who have been through the program. They're at that stage in their careers when being here at IHIF is a wonderful opportunity for them to learn. It's also a wonderful opportunity for them to meet with people who might be their future employers. So if you have an opportunity to shake the hand of a student or perhaps give them an interview, we'd be more than happy. But as part of our longstanding support for EHL, it's my pleasure every year to make a presentation, a donation, and a token of our support to the school. And today I'm joined by Andre Whiskey. Andre is the president of the Board of Governors of the EHL, and I'd like to call Andre up on stage. No music. I don't know what happened. So we'd like to thank you, as always, for your support, tremendous support in the institution. And if I could also perhaps invite you to say a few words about the great work that you're doing at the school.
Thank you very much. Yes, Kerry, it's a great moment for myself to be here, and I like the cooperation with you, but it's also for our students very important. And I've met a few of them which are around, and they see opportunities for their professional life. Now, that is very good for them, and that is our goal, or my goal is that the students from our school, they have a good future in front of them. That is my only objective. And then, okay, it goes with the industry, but if they are not good, it doesn't go with the industry. And we have changed quite a few things and new elements in our school in Lausanne. First of all, we have built a second school in this German-speaking part of Switzerland, where we have a new way of bringing talents to the industry. It is more vocational, and we do the bridge from vocational to academic in that school. Doesn't exist on this way, at least not in Europe, and that's an important moment for us and for the industry, and brings, as I mentioned, new talents to the industry. And the second point is that we launch a new master program. I can tell you, when we started with the faculty, I told them, I don't want another master program. Make it something outstanding, because that is where we go, what we go for. And they came up with a program which I think is just fantastic. It's what they call a trium, and that means it's 1 semester in Hong Kong, it's 1 semester in Lausanne, and it's 1 semester in Houston. And this, all the program is managed by Lausanne, but it's the teachers or the faculty is from each university. And I think this gives the new masters really a great input to be successful in the industry. and others do probably 2 weeks or something, 2 months, but we do a full semester and they are fully integrated, and I think this underlines one of the strengths of the students of Lausanne, that they are great in the competence, intercultural competence. Once again, it's very great, and there's a great moment here, and thank you very much, and it's always, I'm looking forward
Always
for May
fantastic.
when we had another meeting and think about the future together.
We look forward to it. In the meantime, congratulations with the program, and
Thank you.
Thank you. You're preparing the next generation of leaders of the industry, and on behalf of all of us, we'd love to thank you. See
Thank
you
you,
again.
Ed. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. So as we mentioned yesterday we started off the conference with a lot of news, with the year in review, and certainly looked at deals, we looked at openings, we looked at a lot of the activity that was going on, and as we mentioned, one of the traditions here at IHIF is we do like to have the opportunity to announce some news first. So I'm really pleased to say this morning we have 3 announcements. Carlson Residor first is announcing the expansion of its African network. They're adding a property in the country of Togo to their portfolio. It's the historic Radisson Blue Hotel du Dove Février. Oh my goodness, I'm going to mess up my French. I'm sorry. You'll excuse me because I'm an American trying to speak French, right? It's the Hotel du Dove Février featuring 320 keys. It's the tallest building in West Africa. It stands at 102 meters tall, and it's scheduled to open in late 2015. IHG has signed a multi-development agreement with Interstar to develop 10 hotels by 2019 in Germany. They've got over 90 hotels either open or under development across 9 MDA agreements in Germany. So congratulations to IHG on that announcement. And then in the fall of 2016, there's a new apart hotel, Adagio, that will open in Frankfurt, across from the Frankfurt Exhibition Center. A wonderful property. It's got 171 apartments. The operator and franchisee of the Adagio is Success Hotel Management Group, based in Stuttgart. And the Apart Hotel's brand, for those of you who don't know, is created via a partnership between Accor and Pierre and Vacances Center Parks Groups. So congratulations to these 3 companies on those announcements. So the next session, actually, we've been looking forward to. It's the section. This session is titled "The Economic Outlook: Global and European Overview," and "Is the EU the Next Black Swan?" In preparing for this session, I thought a little bit about the black swan, the term black swan, and of course you hear this thrown about, particularly in financial circles all the time. But I wanted to just do a little bit of background to see what really constitutes a black swan. And what I learned is that there are 3 criteria that have to be met. First of all, the event should be a surprise, something that you didn't see coming. Second of all, that it has a major effect, usually negative. And third, with the full benefit of 20/20 hindsight, you will irrationally rationalize that you should have seen that event coming. So there's 3 criteria there for black swan. So it reminds me a little bit of something very simple in personal terms, an automobile accident, right? Something that comes as a complete surprise, certainly has a major impact, and you wish that you didn't take that left-hand turn, but when you think back, you think, well, maybe I should have seen that coming. But in economic terms, black swans have a slightly different connotation and a different impact. And I think 3 weeks ago, had we been thinking about the potential for a black swan here in Europe, we might have been thinking about this image. Here we have an image, very historic landmark, 2 flags flying, and the thought might have crossed our mind 3 weeks ago, will these 2 flags be flying together 6 months from now, a year from now? And what will the consequence be for not just the country, but for the EU, and in fact, for the entire global financial system? But of course, through an exercise of diplomacy, and a lot of negotiating and no doubt, agreements that were struck that are not public. The negotiation has been extended for another 4 months, and perhaps there'll be a little bit of time to resolve this situation. But going back, to the black swan, if the three criteria for the black swan are that it should be sudden and a surprise, and certainly, has a major impact, I'm not sure if this particular situation would actually qualify for a black swan. First and foremost, that image appeared in a CNBC story in May of 2012, and it was titled, "Preparing for the Imminent Greek Exit." So here we are in 2015, it's 3 years later, we're still talking about it, there's work that's being done, very conscientious and deliberate work that's being done on the part of all parties to act responsibly. So perhaps that wouldn't really constitute a black swan. So in order to explore this subject a little more, we at IHIF went to a tremendous source of information to Capital Economics, London-based firm, a global economics consultancy, headed by Roger Boodle, who I'm sure everyone in the audience here is familiar with Roger and his credentials. And we went to Roger and his team, and we said, could you help us out here? Maybe this is too simple, a way of thinking about this. Is there a different way of looking at the situation? And working with Roger and his team, what we've got here in store for you for this session is really a more global perspective. Because this particular situation, whether it's banks in Greece or banks in Austria or other financial events in other parts of the world, they're all part of a connected financial system. We're part of a global financial system. Events in one region, as we saw many years ago with the Asian contagion, can have an effect worldwide. So we thought what would be really interesting for all of the delegates here would be not just to look at a very narrow focused view of the world in a very limited way, but to really take a step back and have a dashboard level view of what's going on around the major economies and how that might impact our industry. I'm very sorry that Roger actually couldn't be with us himself today due to a situation that was unavoidable. But as I said, we've worked with Roger and his team to put together this presentation. And his colleague, Andrew Kenningham, who actually runs the Global Economics Service at Capital Economics, is here with us today. Andrew is a well-noted economist in his own right. He most recently served as Deputy Chief Economist in the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. He's worked for Merrill Lynch, so he's got, of course, the experience working in the banking and financial markets. And I'm very, very pleased to have Andrew here today to take us through the dashboard.